It's the Sue Ann Show. Sue Ann Show. Sue Ann Show.
Of Hourish Show.
Form. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are we in the room?
You are in the room.
We're in the room.
We're in the room. Hello, Sue Collins.
Hello.
Fresh from rehearsals.
Hello, Anne Gilden.
The Celtic Exodus.
Straight from the first run through, which was quite nerve-wracking, but it went well. It's such a big show. There's so much choreography, so many moving parts.
Yeah.
It's all singing, all dancing. It is a musical. It's a musical.
Are you a triple threat, Sue Collins? Triple threat, sing, dance.
No, I'm like
And
a supporting role. I'm supporting role. No, there's these two young stars and they're just so young. They're so young.
There was no animosity that
Triple threat, young.
They've so much energy. They're such good dancers and singers, and they've endless energy, like endless. They don't come in tired. They do Trojan work. They're in every scene, dancing away.
I bet they look fabulous.
They look fabulous, and they're such nice people. They really are. They're lovely, and it's great. I'm playing the mammy, and she comes in and out, and she does. She spills her guts.
Is there any scope at all for the Sue Collins can ring comedy out of a phone
There's
book?
one little moment I have in a song, but it's about the famine, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully there won't be a dry seat in the house.
People are going to be wetting themselves with grief.
Yeah.
if you can't make him laugh, make him cry.
Well, it sounds real stage Irish, kind of cheesy. It's not. It's bringing the whole history of it. It's shining a light on it, and I think it does it quite well. And it's really sad, and it's sadness through dance, which I love. Do you know what I mean?
I've never heard that sentence before. Sadness through dance.
But people are
Sorry, that sounds wonderful, Sue, but it should be the coda to the show. Celtic Exodus, sadness through dance.
I don't think dance has ever made me cry. As a dancer.
I haven't seen enough dance, but I have seen stuff on Instagram, ballet. I always love ballet.
Yeah.
And I've seen stuff that is so beautiful. I'm sitting in bed going,
bawling your eyes out.
I'm just, I do away from Paul so he doesn't think I'm insane.
Yeah.
But ballet really moves me.
Insane-er.
Ballet moves you. Well, it's contemporary dance, Irish dance movement. The ensemble are incredible. They're in every scene.
I do love dance. My favourite show that I ever saw in the whole world was Fabulous Beast Company and their Giselle. That was my favourite show that I've ever seen of anything through decades and decades of seeing shows.
And I saw the same show.
Yeah.
In
It
Trinity.
was storytelling.
It was amazing.
It was the most magnificent
That's
dance.
Michael Keegan-Dolan.
Yeah. But
superb.
nothing has ever surpassed that.
I agree.
Yeah.
We were like that. Was it the same night you came?
Yeah, I went to see it twice.
I sat in the chair afterwards and was just absolutely blown away. And I remember thinking, I just want to sit here. I can't get up out of the seat. I just want to stay in that magic.
And there was a thread in it about bisexuality, and I was seeing a bisexual person at the time, a guy, and it was very complicated for him, and it just made it this whole other level of.
What do you mean complicated? It was like having a Sony DVD player and getting a Sanyo one.
I wasn't having a bisexual relationship, but there was a bisexual person beside me. So that kind of added to the whole.
No, I went to see it a second time.
I was
so moved by it. I went to see it a second time. But there was a woman in the front, because it was during the theatre festival about 20 no, it's a long time ago, Paul. 20 years ago. So it's Paul, it's a long time since I was involved with this bisexual man. And
She still has the photos.
Yeah.
I still have pictures of his bisexuality. But there was a woman, you know, you get all sorts of audience of that. And there was a woman whose only reaction to everything on stage was, she was just laughing
Inappropriately.
because
know.
I think the rawness of it was making her uncomfortable.
So it's kind of shock.
I know.
And
it was irritating you.
oh my God, he ruined. That's when I think of the second time I went to see that show, all I can remember is this
Her
woman
laughing in the wrong
and
places.
I wanted to
Stab her.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Do you know it's so funny you should
That's
say?
why I don't go to the theatre.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'll stab
This
somebody.
was, you know, the theatre can be so disappointing because around that time, the Dublin Theatre Festival used to have really amazing stuff like that. And I saw stuff, maybe it was there was more open to theatre at the time, that you'd literally, your breath would be taken away.
Yeah.
And my breath has not been taken away.
Has it
recently.
not?
But I haven't been going so much.
But you haven't seen Celtic Exodus.
Sorry.
But I tell you,
And I'm going to be moved through dance.
you're going to be moved, you're going to feel sad.
Saddened
You're
through
saddened
dance.
through dance.
Yeah.
I had this conversation recently, weirdly enough. Somebody said to me, what's the best show you ever saw? And I mentioned that very show,
Yeah.
which was one of the best shows I've ever seen. But the other one that really stays with me, which was absolutely incredible, and maybe you came, but it was a long time ago, so I don't remember. We're talking about 95. I don't even know, earlier. I don't even think the Nualas were doing shows in Edinburgh at the time. And it was a show with a French company, and everything was made with vegetables.
Was it puppets?
Even the actors.
The puppets was it puppets. I don't.
I know that sounds...
Go on, no, you're not
I
describing
know.
it. What was made with vegetables? The sofas. What? Was
were-
it puppets?
No,
Let her speak, Anne.
there was a horse and carriage, and like the horses had leeks. Their plumes were leeks.
I didn't see it, but I remember you talking about it.
It was absolutely incredible. And you know what was amazing? Like everything was vegetables. But you know what was amazing? The smell. It was the smell of freshly cut broccoli.
Will you move through vegetables?
So was it like being at a show in the local supermarket in the
It
veggies?
was just this, like,
You were saddened through
sensory
vegetables, yeah.
delight. It was
So
absolutely...
that was part that was folded into the whole thing? Or do you think it was incidental to them saying we're using vegetables? Or did they deliberately up the ante on the...
It was one of the most creative things I have ever seen, and disciplined things
Okay,
I've ever seen.
I have to look up that French company, vegetables.
Oh, it was extraordinary.
I think, you know, remembering you talking about these shows, I think I was an awful lot more passionate about performance and theatre when I was a bit younger.
So was I.
And I seem to have lost that a bit. I've seen a few plays that were issue-y and right-on-y and not from the heart.
Yeah.
And it just put me off going to the theatre.
They do exist. So I've kind of gone into like I'm around actors a lot, so they're
yeah.
constantly talking about the shows and seeing shows and everything else. They are there.
They are
They
there,
are there.
yeah.
I loved a show called I Heart Alice.
Oh, yeah. That
Heart
was
Alice. That was Amy Conroy wrote
Amy,
that.
that was superb.
Absolutely superb.
And Amy and
Hysterical.
that's Claire.
Claire Barrett.
Superb.
Two-hander. Absolutely superb. Beautifully written. Loads of gags. Oh, I'll always remember it.
Any vegetables?
There were no vegetables in that one. There were no vegetables. But yeah, it's funny,
They
isn't
are
it?
there.
We
They are
see
there.
so many shows, and how many really stay with you.
Yeah. Actually, having this conversation has made me hungry to see stuff. Sorry.
Did you mean to say that?
No, it just shows my automatic comedy response through
Yes.
years and years of doing stuff and being in that mode. I say stuff. Like I was talking about what was Frank McCourt's book
Angela's Ashes.
Angela's Ashes once, and I just said it's about another book, and I said it's frankly McCourtian. And that I wasn't doing wordplay; it just came out that way. Somebody said, "My God, that's genius," and I went, "Yeah."
It's just always at work, and
Like a savant genius.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm an idiot savant of comedy.
Yeah,
A savant genius sounds better.
One thing I was thinking about was the improvisation with the Nualas. There was a flow that we could get into, and because it was persona and it was the Nuala world, there was something about you leave behind yourself and this freedom emerges through the character. And there was times when we could have just improvised forever. I never felt afraid at all of asking the audience a question or knowing that the funny comeback was there and that it would build into something amazing. And there was a freedom in the persona that I don't quite feel myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard. That is a character thing. I think when you've got that that costume, you can...
It's a kind of freedom of the mask as well, because you're
Absolutely.
essentially you're in disguise.
It is.
So you're not as vulnerable.
Yeah.
So what you want to do in comedy is somehow know that when you step on stage, you are in the persona, you're in a persona that is channeling that same freedom, even though it ostensibly is you.
Well, maybe we need to do more work on that aspect for you going forward.
Yeah. I do.
I miss that too.
There's magic things about performing. When we did The Odd Couple with Tom Kibbe, I felt certain workshops he did with us, because he trained with all those brilliant American
improvisers.
Classic actor tutors, the famous ones whose names I can't.
Strasberg.
Yeah. He did. He trained with all those people in New York. I found his approach to being on stage, to just being, to channeling, to the openness and presence and power, phenomenal.
How long ago was that show?
That was 2008, I think. That was great fun.
Was it?
Great fun or 2008?
2008, was it?
2007 or 2008.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's quite a while ago.
You're still up on the mill on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
But my big memory of that was because it was a big cast.
It was so much fun.
It was the fun.
So much fun. It was great crack. But yeah, I'm getting back into going into seeing more stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting excited through you just talking about it and talking about all the kids saying they're seeing loads of shows. And there's a magic thing about being in the room with all that energy, because it's very intense when you're doing stuff on your own. Yeah. And now when it's through the prism of social media, no, it's not violins. He's doing a violin there behind the camera.
You're not on your own.
And I'm not saying...
Paul's actually got a violin there. He's taking it out of its case.
I know I'm not on my own.
On it.
In fact, I would not be doing the shows I do if I didn't have Paul, because I don't like working on my own. That's why I love the Nualas. I don't like working on my own. I do have that actor's instinct in that way, or performance instinct. I like being part of an ensemble or part of a... Magic happens. And I used to feel with the Nualas, 3 is a magic number. There's just so much to look at, and so,
We're not getting the Nualas back. Can I just tell you?
Tell me about the shop.
I was in... We do have to have a little moment about shopping, and that's just part of women's lives. We like to go into shops. But there's I was driving through Donnybrook. For the people in Ohio, Donnybrook is quite posh, isn't it?
It's a posh suburb.
Which is ironic, because most Americans associate Donnybrook with the word a big mill or a big fight.
That's because that's what Donnybrook means.
Yeah. But Donnybrook to Americans is loads of Irish people knocking the shit out of each other.
It's fisticuffs. Yeah.
So the irony is, it's incredibly posh.
Yeah, and it has a name like fisticuffs.
It's got a name like fisticuffs, but my God, it isn't. No, it's
I know.
I actually, anyway, when you live here, you know the types, but I do love that. There's 2 beautiful shops there in the Donnybrook, kind of as you drive in, and they both had sales on. Anyway, I stopped.
Donnybrook Strip.
The Donnybrook Strip. I had I see the big S word and I'm sucked in. I suddenly find myself driving in and parking up and going in. And lo and behold, I see a beautiful pair of runners. I'm hunting for a nice pair of runners. So 50% off sale, and the runners are all kind of lined up, and the woman comes up immediately. Can I help you? Oh, hi, how are you? Amazing day. How are things? How are things? And she's like, cha-ching, sales. So I have my eye on these and I try them on. But on the box it says what I think is the original price.
Which
it was displayed like that, made it to look like that, and it was €380. And I thought,
Which is eye-watering.
which is eye-watering, and
So that would be, yes.
that would be what, once, I'm not good at maths, but 170, 80, 170.
190.
190,
Yeah,
which-
€190. I've never paid that for a pair of shoes, but yeah.
In the sale,
Yeah.
I thought, no, I've never either. I wasn't even planning to pay that much, but I wanted to try them on. I tried them on. Of course, she's all over me going, they're amazing, aren't they? Oh my God, I love those runners. They're stunning on you. Absolutely
Were they stunning on
stunning.
you? Were they
Yeah.
stunning on you?
Yeah, they were.
What was it about them?
They were so cool. They were silver and kind of,
And as you walked down, they were going, wow.
yeah. Everybody went, wow.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I would be pushed to pay about $180.
They were a statement shoe. I think it was Tom Ford who said, strong glasses, strong shoes, whatever's going on in between doesn't matter.
They were definitely a statement trainer, no two ways. So I said, oh, $380, so that's half price. And she said, no, actually, that's the sale price.
$380.
Yeah, so they were 800.
No, she was taking the piss. She
I
had to be.
said, so they were €800.
Did you say that to her?
Yeah. And she went, yeah, I know. And I just said and I went, oh, right. I would have been interested if they were, that's out of my budget. But the way she turned on her heel,
No fucking way.
she spun around like I was trash in the shop. Oh, it was shocking.
She was like, what are you doing in here?
What the fuck are you doing in here? Oh my God. And there was another young one in there, and she was really nice, and she went, I agree with you. They've put it's insane prices. I agree with you. And she was really nice.
She worked there as well.
Yeah, there was the other one, but this one was just so rude.
It's the way the other half live.
But you know something? Do you know the thing that goes through my head is the whole pretty woman. I then get into my car and I have this whole scenario where I go back
And become a prostitute.
Only for a week or two.
I mean, Richard Gere.
No, it's the iconic scene where she goes in with Richard Gere's credit card, obviously.
Yeah.
No, she goes in rich and she can't afford anything, and she's literally treated like shit.
Yeah.
And then Richard Gere falls in love with her and gives her credit card, and she goes back. And they look at her as if to say, what are you doing here again? And she goes, what it is she goes, I was going to shop here. She comes back having shopped in another shop with all her
vegetables.
With all the vegetables. She comes back with a load of vegetables and she walks into the shop.
In really fancy bags.
And she goes, I was going to shop here. But
I bought aubergines.
The way you treated me a few days,
Yeah.
fuck you. I didn't, blah, blah, blah. But I had all I was raging. I just wanted to go back and say, I'll have 3 pairs of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you not just go back with a big can of petrol?
So now I've got 3 pairs of them.
But I am shocked. Who is paying €800 for a pair of runners?
Some ladies.
People in Donnybrook.
A relative of mine made the mistake of opening a restaurant in Donnybrook, and he said they were the most miserable, cheap people he'd ever had in his restaurant. But 4 of them would sit around one plate if they could.
Yeah.
They didn't like spending
Well,
money.
my kids work in a pub, which is in town, but it's fairly well established. So a few poshies come in.
Yeah.
And I was saying to my son, Shawnee, who's 18, I said, what's the worst? You know, because they tell me all the stories.
Fabulous.
You know, and they talk about all the bar flies.
And you're there.
And we shouldn't generalise. Sure, we shouldn't.
You're doing a May Binchy on
lovely.
it, taking it
Yeah.
all
They
down.
talk about, you know, and he's a bit of a pain, but he's all right. And
Yeah, yeah.
she's bloody blah, and such happened. And I went, who are your worst customers? And he said, southside middle-aged women.
Why?
That's not cold enough.
You
He
fucking
just
joking.
went, ladies who come from.
But I have a memory of that type of woman. We were doing a posh luncheon once, ladies who lunch type. Do you remember we were both doing stand-up? And we were both kind of, do you not remember this?
Which one?
I can't. It was early days after the Newlers. We were both doing stand-up at this thing. And it was kind of like that class of women, the competitive swimming, the competitive slimming type. You know, they're all so thin and probably €800 runner type. And I got up on stage and went, hello, you know, whatever. And a woman at the front went like this.
Oh, I remember. It was in the Four Seasons.
Yeah, it was in the
something
Four
else
Seasons.
now.
But the word was like,
I know how she feels.
but it was
Yeah.
like horror at my voice, right in front of me and right at the beginning of my set. And I had to do 20 minutes and there's a woman go,
Something's
like,
interrupting my conversation.
yeah, but it's
Oh,
not
a
even looking.
performer.
It's like, oh.
I know. I was doing Carmel, so Carmel was my northside character, whatever, and Dirtbirds were doing one in Howth. We used to do quite a few up that way, and this was Ladies Who Lunch, but we had some really, really nice gigs.
The Newlers had some really nice ladies who lunch gigs in Howth.
But this one anyway walked right across the stage, not across the stage, in front of the stage, in a fabulous bright green dress. And they all used to dress up for these things. They were kind of fundraisers, kind of whatever they were. And she didn't have, you know, you could tell she was see you next Tuesday. Anyway, I said, my God, the style here is amazing. It's all look absolutely gorgeous. Penny's is great, I have to say. It really is. They absolutely hated that joke. I think it's a good joke. They hated it. It was an aside that I used to do all the time.
Yeah.
I have to say, Penny's, you can't beat it. That's beautiful. There's no fucking way any of them would have been buying stuff. They didn't turn, I wouldn't say turned against us, but there was definitely, they didn't like that joke. How dare you even joke about it? You know.
You see, you should have gotten the full whammy and said, the charity shops around here must be amazing.
Yeah. So no, they are a breed. They're a breed. But yeah, and we know it very well,
And
unfortunately.
you get them everywhere, north side, south side, around the country.
Yeah.
Lots of lovely
It's
people on
amazing.
the
I went
south
out for a
side.
sea.
So you're from the south side, Sue, and you're lovely.
I went for a swim at Sea Point, and
Are you going to be mean about the sea now as well, Anne?
No.
Southside
The sea was going, oh God, he's going to get it. Oh God. Oh, smell those feet. The sea out there, even the sea in Dublin, South County Dublin, is just so, and it did reject me. It was my first swim of the year, and I've always found Sea Point really easy to swim in, and it was so rough.
Was it?
And I went straight in without, it was very choppy getting in, but I thought I can handle this. And then I'm in the sea going, oh, I'm afraid. It was just a bit too much. And I noticed everybody was getting out. And then I went to one of the rails to try and, I was kind of, do you know that thing where the sea is pushing you back and forth and you're reaching towards the rail to cling on. And I grabbed the rail and then a wave bash bashed me into the railings that you grab onto, and I really hurt my leg. And then the the swimming lifeguard came down to
The Savey Life people.
the Savey Life, and she went,
Yeah, there's a few down there.
She said, "Are you all right?" She went, "Really, you should be the other side."
And you said, "I like your runners."
Let me help you. Let me help you to
They
use
were
Zimmer frame.
380 in the sale. Oh my
But
God.
the brilliant thing about this girline was she was so brave. She was being buffeted about too, but she was just holding on. She went, "Ideally, you should be the other side of that rail. You wouldn't be." And then she just made sure that it was okay getting out. She went, "You should wait. You see the waves come in sets and wait till it calms a bit." But it was so choppy in there that you couldn't even kind of see over the waves what the sets were. So I went out another day. I got up really early, and I got up really early, and I thought, rather than go to the gym, I'm going to go for a little swim. And it was sunny and the same thing. And I actually just stood, looked at the sea, left.
That is extraordinary because I've been swimming and it's been very calm. Are you sure these dreams?
At some
Anne
point,
went when there was an easterly wind pushing against the coastline, and she just didn't consider that. That's all.
I didn't. Paul, with his fishing knowledge,
Well,
knows.
it's just the easterly wind is choppy, wet sea, and the
I will tell you about one time. No, I swim off up here in Shellybank, down there.
I went there once. It's a bit too industrial around there for me to swim comfortably.
There is that.
Somebody told me, a fisherman, that you need to be careful tide-wise when you're swimming there. It's a bit not nice.
Well, anyway, I went down. I thought that I was going to become a winter swimmer because I was swimming a lot between April and September.
And then you realise that getting into the water in your woolies.
You know this bullshit that people say, "Oh, I swim all year round. I swim all year round." Oh God, yeah. It's actually warmer. This is what I've heard people say. You wouldn't believe it. No, you see, you don't understand. It's incredible to swim in January. Now that's shite. Sorry.
Did you attempt to get in January?
So let's say it was February, right? And I went down and I went, you know what? I'm going to try this now. I'm going to try and become one of these people. And I went down to that pier and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculously choppy. I mean, but I'd made the decision that I wanted to get in.
You got in?
I got in, but I mean, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. So I got in and I just hung on to the ladder and I was being tossed around, and all I did was, it was so stupid.
It was so stupid. Did you get afraid?
I got afraid, but what happened was...
Yeah. Soon, with the fear, get out.
No.
Yeah.
I met a woman just before, when I was walking down, I met this woman coming back up and she'd wet hair. And I said, "Did you get in?" And she went, "Yeah, I did for a second. And then I got out." And I said, "I'm planning to get in." And she went, "I'll wait for you." I didn't know who she was. She went, "I'll wait. I'll stand here."
Was there nobody else there, Sue?
No.
Okay, that's insane. I never get into the sea when there's no one around.
I know. It was, when you've made the decision to get in and you're going to feel better afterwards. And I just have to get in now.
Yeah.
Because it was a palaver getting down there.
I know, but I had the whole palaver of going out very early in the morning for my summer swim this week in Sea Point. And because
scary.
I'd had the scary incident, I just went, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was never like that before. I'd be like you. I had to get a sea. I have to get in. And the temperature at the moment is heaven.
It's heaven.
It's heaven.
It is absolutely divine. I was down on Sunday. It's beautiful. So beautiful.
I'd love to live near the sea. I guess we live near the sea enough, but it is a couple of hours if you're going to go out and come back.
Yeah, no, it's a day.
Well, a morning if you got up early. I had this idea in my head, but anyway, it's gone now.
How did you get on in the eye and ear?
Oh yeah, I went to the eye and ear hospital. I had to go to the eye and ear hospital today because I have an ongoing thing with my eyes, and the optometrist I see to help me with my vision said, I see something different in your scans. And she wrote to the eye and ear. So they're very good. They called me up that evening and they said, this was yesterday evening, and they said, so come in tomorrow morning, and then when do you want the appointment? But the appointment's a fantasy because you just stay there for hours anyway. So 9:20 was the appointment. The person said, and bring a drink and wear comfortable clothes because she could be waiting. I was just waiting for him to go, bring a drink, wear comfortable clothes, maybe
a cheese sandwich.
Facilities to set up a kitchenette, a couch, someone you can form a meaningful relationship with, just because I've been going to the eye and ear for years, and I have experienced waiting up to 10 hours to see someone.
I did once with my son.
Yeah.
And we had such a laugh.
Oh, did you? Yeah. No, I have
because you're there so long, you kind of start going a little bit mad, and we have the same sense of humour.
Forget while you were there.
Yeah, we have the same sense of humour, and we just had such a laugh every time the woman came in to go. She would either be going, John O'Reilly, Teresa, Byrne, Mohammed, whatever.
Yeah.
This woman stood up every time and name was called. It was so funny. We kept on making these hilarious things, and Johnny would be going to me, why is the doctor coming out and saying the name with his back to everybody? Everything was funny.
Yeah.
Everything was funny. Like there was something wrong with the drinks machine.
Yeah.
And there was a man sitting beside the drinks machine, and every time someone came over in a big loud voice, he'd explain to them, you have to hit it and then it'll come out. And then there was a big discussion between people about how long each person had been staying, and it turned into a competition. Well, we drove up from Tipperary and we left at 5 a.m. Well, did you? Well, we left at 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't tell you, we came back. It was just so, waiting rooms are hilarious.
But it's not good enough because it's National Eye and Ear Hospital. Yeah. I've spent a lot of time there. I've had a lot of trouble with my eyes over the last 4 years. I've had conversations where people have got the train up early in the morning and they're there going, well, we can't really afford a B&B. We're going to have to get the last train back. Yeah. And they have got the train. They've been up at an a.m. really early to get a train to come to Dublin. They've sat all day in that miserable, and it is a miserable, horrible waiting room all day, and then going, we're going to have to go and we can't be seen.
Oh.
And but anyway, today it was 2.5 hours. I think it's the hot weather or something.
You ruined all the comedy Sue was conjuring up there.
I loved all the comedy, but I mean, I find the comedy. What I do now is I know it's going to be a long wait, so I bring a flask, I bring food, I bring work.
Well, Anne was prepared for the weekend. She said, the
podcast. Paul said, are you all right, love? Oh, you all right? And I'm just go, yes, love, I'll be here all day. And it was quite quick.
Oh, that's good.
But
With the bad news.
No, it was okay. She was just being careful, and they said we don't see a change. But I was treated there, and I did go nearly blind in an eye. But that's another story.
That's another podcast. Somebody sent me a clip of the Nualas, which was played on the telly.
And you sent it to me.
I sent it to you. Now, it was only a very short clip. And
it was on RT1. It was on Sunday night. It was some clip show, and I'm going to go check out the player.
It was Pat Short's show.
Was it?
Comedy clips. Okay.
Is that called really? No, yeah, it was one of those really years.
Thing. Yeah. You got the details sent to you, and
somebody. I put it up on my Instagram, and I asked, and some woman told me what program it was. Yeah. So I'm going to check it on the player.
I thought it was a man for some reason.
No, it was a lady.
We looked good.
We looked good, but I couldn't get over our tights. I mean, there was. I remember those tights. I was going through a phase of big denier. And they really look big denier. They're going into granny territory.
They are.
They totally are. As Paul would say, the type of denier that if a robber wore them, he'd run into the wall.
Yeah. That's what was happening. But
Granny denier.
Shoes were great though.
Yeah,
we
Paul
did
liked
like
the
a thick
shoes.
denier.
Oh my God, our dresses were so short.
They were so short, but we got away with them.
Now this is about from 27 years ago.
Yeah.
But our dresses were literally barely covering our bottoms. No wonder we were so popular.
We didn't even notice.
No,
There was no
we were fabulous.
There was no conversation about that.
And I've always like felt I'm overweight.
You certainly were not then.
No.
Well, you weren't now either, but you weren't like
You weren't now.
Oh, you look amazing. You look like a little Tonka toy. Amazing blonde hair and because your insane character coming through in the dance moves. Oh, it was wonderful.
The tights were a big part of the Nulas.
The tights were a big part, the Nulas, but also tights were a big part of everybody's life then. I always was shopping for tights in M&S.
Well, tights were in. I mean, the thick black denier was definitely a thing. It's
Yeah,
what
short
you wore.
skirt.
Short skirt.
Runners, and the black tights. In fact, I'm going to wear that in the winter, this winter.
And
I like
I'm
that look.
Partial to, they go up by in the tens, from 10 to, and I love 120.
Oh,
That's nearly a legging.
It's there's no wind
that's going
getting through.
that's going into the legging.
I am warm in the winter is all I'll say. We used to wear tights under our jeans in the winter because we spent so much time outside as teenagers.
I
Hanging
never wore
around.
tights under the. But I always had I have a tight drawn. I haven't put on a pair of tights in years now.
And all us young lads were out freezing, and we never thought of that trick.
You never thought of the secret tights under the jeans. It's wonderful. Yeah, I do like a pair of nylons.
Would you still have nylons?
Yes, and when one particular year when I felt a bit flush, there's a certain
Wolford.
Yes.
Wolford are the king of tights.
I went in and I went, I'm going to buy. Oh, they're beautiful.
Because there used to be a great Wolford section on the ground floor of Brown Thomas. And
I
used
think
to
it's
go.
still there. Is it not?
Is it? It's not on the ground floor anymore. The tights are just not central to shopping anymore.
They're not. But
No.
I used to love a Wolford tight. I have Wolford tights in my drawer.
Do you? They're
And
very expensive.
They're about 35 quid.
Yeah.
But my God, they last.
Well, if you're
What are they called? Wolfman tights.
Wolfman.
Wolfman, yeah, big hairy.
Wolford. But they last. They last. They're such good quality.
A ladder is a ladder, though.
They don't ladder. The Wolford tight doesn't ladder. I can tell you now.
I feel like I'm in a advertising agency in Randomie
No.
to sell Wolford tights.
Yeah.
The Duracell of tights.
Oh no!
The Duracell
Whoever was involved in creating Wolford tights really spent a lot of time thinking
and
about
they still
what they.
going.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes, they
these-
would be.
Yeah.
yeah. Phelim's mother used to have one. She would.
Yeah,
Th-
well,
th-
they're
th- another-
always-
guys, this could be an opportunity to go chasing a sponsor again.
Yes.
I just thought Wolford nylons.
Sponsored by Wolford tights.
Nylons, we'd call them. Do
Wolford
you remember
nylons.
you'd always use that word nylons? Down the country was always
That's
nylons.
what my mammy called them.
Nylons.
And to think the stocking was just such a luxury at one point, you know. My
The
mother.
stocking with the suspender belt.
Well, my mother lived in Scotland, and then her father was a bit of a naughty man in terms of tax. So she had to leave her home in the middle of the night and go over to Dublin. But what she remembers was she was told to stick a load of nylons down her trousers because they were worth something.
Oh, there was no nylons in Ireland.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Speculate, girls, speculate.
No, isn't it the whole thing?
You
This
see,
is very close.
they weren't mining for nylon in Ireland at the time, but the nylon mines in Scotland were really successful.
Good
And they were
stockings.
chopping out the denier by the ton per day.
The good stockings,
It
yeah.
was very near the era of when the American GIs had the nylons.
This is the
Are you
50s.
talking about World War II, Anne?
This is the 50s.
Yeah, but it was also in the 50s. I remember Mum talking about that. They would draw a line up the back.
That's
this when
right.
they were seamed. And
Yeah.
they would draw a line.
People forget, post-war
up the back.
economy was terrible for a long time.
Yeah, they would draw a line up the back of their legs in, I don't know. What do they have? Coal. But they would draw a line to make it look like they were wearing tights, but they didn't have tights. So yes.
So they were a thing.
They were a thing.
Yeah.
I used to actually, reminds me when in my 20s, 30s, the stockings came in with the elastic around the top. I used to wear them all the time. They were quite raunchy.
Oh.
People look at Paul go,
Raunchy in your 20s or raunchy in your 30s?
That's Paul's gone. That's a long time before I met you, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
That's even longer than her bisexual relationship.
And more nylon. So, girls, will we call it?
Oh, to know.
We're going to wrap it up now.
We work in it. Okay, maybe we can save that for another one. I have to, my darling Paul, just mention about being irritated so much by noises this week. But it's a bit like Paul is constantly irritated by noise, but he really made me laugh.
I call it Anne.
We were on a plane, and he's so sensitive to, where's there going to be an irritant on this flight? But it was an older man sitting 2 rows behind us. He was doing some writing on his phone, and he had the sound of the keyboard on, and it was.
Oh no!
And it
Am I right?
Yeah.
And it was a small plane, and it was really winding Paul up, and I got such a laugh out of that.
Well, I was in a cafe just before we go, and it's so funny you should say that, because we were ordering, and there was a guy who was so rude, few tables over, just FaceTiming someone, and you could hear the whole conversation really loud in a cafe, but the guy who was taking our order was so sort of, I don't know, he had that really, everything had to be, and he just, in mid-order, I was going, and I'll have that, and he went, I'm just going to stop you there. Excuse me for one moment. And he just went over to the guy and he went, we all don't need to hear your conversation. Could you please turn down your phone, stop having
What happened?
Oh, there was just tension. Everybody went,
Did he turn off his FaceTime?
oh yeah, he did. But everybody was thrilled, because it was what everybody was going, turn off your... And
Was he embarrassed? Was the chap embarrassed then?
No, he just went, I didn't even look around. I was like...
People are so much in their own worlds now. They don't know they're talking so loudly.
Yeah.
Like
They don't care.
Yeah.
We were in a pub in Stockport, and it was the first time I ever saw a message saying, we don't need to hear your phone call. If you want to talk to someone, use your headset properly or go outside.
But do that in Northern accent. It's Stockport.
Yeah.
Right.
Shut your fucking phone off.
Yeah, get the
Shut
fuck
it.
out.
Yeah.
No one fucking wants to... Yeah, wanker.
That sounds
No, it didn't say that. It was actually a polite notice. Leave your phone
Yeah.
up your ass. You big prick.
Okay, and you're knocking the microphone off that crystal of yours.
I didn't even hear that. See, I can just
Why
turn
won't
my
you hear? I
hearing...
want the headphones on.
I'm half blind, and I can just turn my hearing aids down, and I'm a bit like this, and it's actually quite pleasant sometimes.
For Anne.
On that note,
really enjoyed the chat.
yes,
Sue.
really
It's
enjoyed
great
the
to-
chat. We'll chat again next week. If you want to respond to any of the hilarity and stuff we've been talking about,
Or give us topics to chat on.
yes, indeed, you can email us, sueannehalfhourishshow@gmail.com.
Brought to you by Sue Collins and Anne Gildee. Producer Paul Farron.
Sue Ann Show.